and welcome to Big Friendly Grub. I hope you're well, you absolutely beautiful people. So today's video is actually a bit of a request. My friend Bex, she is a vegan, and recently the place that does her favourite vegan jam donuts recently stopped doing them, which is an absolute travesty. And she asked me if I could come up with a vegan jam donut recipe. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try and make vegan jam donuts. They actually made like proper donuts. I say proper, not vegan donuts before, like twice. And they've come out all right, but vegan jam donuts I've not done before. So I am going to be winging it today, much like I do most of the time, and see if I can come up with some really nice vegan jam donuts. So let's get started. Ooh. So first things first, for our donuts, I'm going to pour in 160 millilitres of oat milk into a small saucepan over a medium heat. I'm just going to let that come up just so it's just getting warm. I don't want it hot or boiling, anything like that. I just want to warm it up. I'm using oat milk, but you can use your non-dairy milk of choice. You can use soy milk, almond milk, whatever you want really. My preference is oat milk because I prefer the flavour, and I think it's slightly better environmentally than other non-dairy milk. So that's my reason for going for it. So my milk has warmed up because I can see steam coming off the top of the surface. So I'm going to pop in 70 grams of vegan butter to melt down into that. Then I'm also going to pop in 75 grams of caster sugar and melt that in as well. I'm just going to turn off the heat because I'm just going to let that residual heat melt everything. Right, that's all melted, so I'm just going to move it off the heat and let it cool down for a minute or two. Now with that just cooled down a little bit, I'm going to add in 7 grams of yeast into that, stir that in, and then I'm just going to leave it for a few minutes just to let it do its thing. Next, in a large bowl, I'm going to add 250 grams of plain flour. Plain flour, not self-raising flour, not strong white bread flour, plain flour. Then about a teaspoon of salt, mix that through. Then in the center, I'm going to make a well. And into that, I'm going to pour in my buttery mixture with my yeast, which has been doing its thing and getting jiggy with it. So in that goes. And you can get in there with your hands or a wooden spoon. I'm going to get in there with my dough scraper. Just bring that all together. Still looks a little bit too sticky to me, so I'm going to throw in another handful of flour just to bring that together a bit more so it's not quite as tacky. So this is one of the things with doughs, you always got to play it by eye. It can always vary each time depending on the flour, the moisture in the air, all sorts of factors. I'm just going to pop that onto my board, and I'm not going to knead it, I'm just going to work it for a bit because it's plain flour. There's not a lot of gluten in it compared to strong white bread flour. So I just want to work it a bit just to get myself a nice, slightly smooth dough. See, that's not sticking as much anymore, but it's also not like dry. It's got that good in-between consistency. There we go, I think that'll do. Lovely buttery dough. And I'll pop that back into my bowl, which I've cleaned out. Then I'm just going to cover that with some cling film. Then I'm just going to leave that for about an hour or until that's doubled in size. My dough has had a nice amount of time to rise, about an hour or so, and you can see that has risen up some, so I'm just going to knock some of the air out gently. Then we're going to want to divide this into even sized balls. It's going to depend on how many you want, what sort of size you want. I probably want some nice sized ones. I'm going to go with maybe about 6, so I'm just going to weigh out my dough to see how much it weighs. So that's approximately 40 grams each. It's 40, and I'm just going to roll that into a ball and pop that on a tray, which you can just see there. And with those shaped into balls, I'm just going to cover them with a clean tea towel and leave those again to brew for about 40 minutes, I'd say. Right, my donuts have puffed up nicely, so next I'm going to get them into a deep fat fryer to fry off for probably about 2 to 3 minutes, just until they're nice golden brown on both sides. If you don't have a deep fat fryer, you can use a pan of oil. Just be careful, make sure you keep an eye on it, otherwise there could be disaster. I've got this at 180 degrees C, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just going to pop in 3 at once because I don't want to overcrowd the pan. I'm just going to move these around and I'll just turn them over every now and again. Oh, I've really got that wonderful like donut smell. You know, just the smell of donuts cooking in oil, it's amazing. Right, those are a wonderful, wonderful golden brown now. So I'm going to get these onto some kitchen towel to dry off. Just get rid of some of that excess oil, and then I can pop in the next 3. Then with all of my donuts fried, looking wonderful, I'm going to roll these in some caster sugar, just to get a nice coating of sugar on them. Right, those are all nicely coated in sugar, so I can now just let those cool just for a couple of minutes so I can handle them, and then we can get them filled. With my donuts cooled down just enough to handle without horribly burning myself, I am now going to inject them with some jam with this rather invasive looking tool I've got here. But it is what you need if you want to inject your donuts. So I'm just going to grab one and inject them with some jam, raspberry jam I'm going for, because that's what Bex asked for. I'm using shop bought jam for time's sake, but if you want to make your own jam, go ahead, by all means do, it'll make them even better. I've just popped this in the microwave for like 20 seconds just to loosen it up a bit so it's a bit easier to inject, and I'm just going to pop this in, give it a bit of a squeeze. There's one. I'm going to try not to overfill them. There we go, all nicely filled and ready to eat. They smell amazing. They smell just like you would expect donuts to smell. You wouldn't think they're vegan just from the smell. So, gonna try one because they're best enjoyed warm. There we go, one beautifully filled vegan jam donut. Wouldn't tell it's vegan by looking at it, and hopefully you won't tell it's vegan by tasting it, which I'm going to do right now because it's still warm and it's going to be amazing. Cheers. Oh yeah. Oh, spot on. Look at that. Look at that. That is good. That is very, very good. So I'm just gonna have to take a photo of this because that is naughty. It's sexual, baby. That's the sort of photo that will get you kicked off Twitter, that is. Oh, but yeah, that is amazing. That is really good. I'm so happy with that. First time making vegan donuts? Yes, they are. That is just spot on. I'm not one to toot my own horn. You know this. If you watch regularly, you know this. But I'm well happy with that. That is super tasty. That is just bang on. Super happy with the texture, the flavour, perfect. Couldn't be happier with that. Oh dear. There's really not much more to say about that. I think my reaction shows how good that is, and you don't have to stick with raspberry jam. You could go with any other jam, or if you want to get like hold of some vegan custard or make your own vegan custard, do that. You could fill it with, I don't know, Nutella. Is Nutella vegan? Probably not. But if you can get hold of like a vegan chocolate spread, do that. Or Biscoff, fill it with Biscoff. That would be very good. Biscoff's vegan, you can go for that. But yeah, endless possibilities. That's just the base. Fill it with what you want. Don't fill it at all. Turn them into ring donuts. Do whatever you like. Just try them. They are so good. So, so good. Right, that's it from me. I'm going to go off and enjoy the rest of this donut because, woo, it's good. Hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you found it useful. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. If you try this, then let me know in the comments. Otherwise, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time on Big Friendly Grub. Bye. Whoa.